Welcome back to Ferox Frank Reviews. And I've been doing a lot of thinking lately. I know I sure got this video out last week, but been very busy lately. Very busy. Got a job and everything. Rex has been working. Rex has also been working. We've been trying to get Joe's show back up and running. He's being extremely lazy. Plus, we had to throw out his hoodie. So I've been doing some thinking. And I may just end my show, but not for long. Not for long. I figured maybe I should take I think it's about time for Ferox Frank to take a good long break for a little while. Retire the show for a little bit, and maybe come up with something brand new. But until then, I still have this show to do for the time being. And today's movie is a slasher film. Oh yes, it's time to do another slasher movie. A slasher film that was made no more than just a few years ago. And, this one's got ridiculous plot twists towards the end of the movie that just scream ridiculous. Today's movie is 2019's Trick. Now, from the cover of this movie, yeah, okay. Here's the thing, you can clearly tell because this is made by the director of My Bloody Valentine, this is definitely going to be a pretty decent horror film. And also, we've got some real interesting actors here. I mean, come on, Omar Epps, Ellen Adar, Christina Reyes, Jamie Kennedy, and Tom Atkins. Wow. This is going to be... let's just get this over with, okay? Now, here's the thing, this is a slasher movie, but like I said, there are twists towards the end of the movie that make it a little bit more ridiculous and borderline. I'm just gonna say it, they may have actually ripped off maybe a couple of other ideas from other movies, but let's just get this over with. The movie actually begins at a senior Halloween party where they're actually playing like spin the bottle, or in this case, spin the knife at a Halloween party. See who's going to kiss who. Now it's actually falling now. Now the turn falls upon this one person named Patrick Weaver. Patrick Weaver. Most people call him Trick. I wonder why. Anyway, and of course the knife actually lands on a guy, so he's about to kiss a guy. That is until he actually grabs the knife and actually goes full slasher movie on a lot of people. Yeah, he kills at least several people until he gets stabbed in the stomach with a fire poker. He gets taken straight to the hospital. And here's the thing. They can't find anything on Patrick Weaver at all. Like, there's like no photographs of him or anything. It's like he's a complete ghost. It's extremely weird. He's like the full antisocial outcast type character. Makes no freaking sense. Like, they can't find anything on him. And the detectives actually... We have the doctor, who's played by Jamie Kennedy, and of course, Omar Epps, one of our main characters, is actually, of course, the lead detective, amongst all things. Now, one of the female survivors, named Chelsea, I think. Just let me do a little quick search. Because, always have to you always have to double check these things. And I should also mention, too, when I was actually looking up this movie, the thing is, when I talked about the movie Trick, here's the thing. The first thing that popped up was actually a gay film it was actually about an open gay film from 1999, which a lot of people forgot existed. All right, so when you type in the movie Trick on Google search, for the love of God, type in Trick 2019 horror film. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Not Chelsea. It's Cheryl. It's Cheryl. Okay, Cheryl. Anyway, Cheryl is the actually. So Patrick, so she, tells him exactly what happened, but she's a little blurred on the details. Anyway, after this, here's the thing: Patrick has still got his makeup on. I mean, he's wearing this ridiculous mask, and he's wearing makeup. All right, so it's kind of ridiculous. He asks him why he can't get that shit off of him. So what? So it's whatever. So of course the detective does this interview, and of course Patrick take actually gets uncuffed and actually goes on a massacre. Yeah, but using everything from beating the shit out of some of the officers to even use the actual handcuffs that he was shackled with as actual weapons. All right, he makes his way to Cheryl to try to kill her, except the sheriff except the sheriff and the detective shoot him down, and he goes flying right out the window. 2 stories down, by the way. All right, one of the cops, he landed on beside one of the cops. Of course, the cop actually dodged and missed him, though, and he actually hit his head pretty badly, though. But what happened to Patrick? He disappeared. Yeah. Not even joking. The detective believes that he's still alive out there, and he's probably just he's actually waiting to actually strike again. And a year later, in another town, it happened. The movie I should mention this movie takes place in upstate New York, and the movie in Benton. No, let me check real quick. Yeah, always gotta make sure to double check. The movie takes place in Benton, New York, which of course is actually in upstate New York. Now they found the blood trail going right to the river, and he thinks that he may have actually went into the river and drowned. So almost like he's dead. The following year, in another town, just a little bit south, Patrick returns and actually kills more some more people. So, and of course, the detective goes back on the case again, and then the following year, the same thing happened again. And of course, the following year again, some FBI agents actually try to get involved, and Patrick actually winds up slaying the FBI agents, and the detective gets blamed for it too. In fact, the detective is right there and everything. And okay, they actually get called out by this bartender who does this new little neat trick with the bottle and everything, which of course is basically just flipping the bottle like so, while the thing was opened. Anyway, Patrick actually wants to killing 2 FBI agents, and of course, the detective actually is forced into retirement. So, now, the following year later, we're back. Now, it's like several years later, we're back in Benton. It's 2019. So yeah, we're back in Benton. The movie started off in 2015, and now we're in 2019. Way back in Benton. So, and there's actually snow on the ground. Gee, snow on the ground? Is this a Christmas movie? No, it takes place at Halloween. Look, here's the thing: if you live in further upstate north, or in some parts of Canada, or even Alaska, chances are you are going to get snow in the middle of October, right? So what's the only time you're ever going to see Halloween decorations when there's snow outside? If you live further up north. Which actually makes me think of this idea. This makes me think of the story I actually thought about a few years back that I wanted to write. About a guy who wanted to actually put up his Halloween decorations to replace Christmas. Yeah, it's actually kind of a sad little story, but I'll get to that if I ever get around to it, though. So a couple of people actually wound up getting killed in Benton, and of course, the detective's name is actually scrawled in blood on a wall by one of the cops actually defines it, whose name is Slater, by the way. So yeah, they make the discovery, and it turns out Patrick Weaver is probably back in town. And here's the thing: after several years, Patrick Weaver has now become a synonymous ghost type character. Yeah, it's like he's going around killing people. He's like a Halloween myth legend at this point. All right, Cheryl actually left amongst all that, went to college, came back because her father actually had a bit of an accident. actually had a horrific accident, which of course is now landing him in the hospital. So, and of course, unfortunately, there was no actual video evidence of anything. And of course, and the doctor is who's like I said, played by Jamie Kennedy amongst all people, is actually being helpful and supportive and actually trying his best to help Cheryl and her father out. And of course, Cheryl's actually been taking self-defense classes as well too. So yeah, the whole town is actually trying to get over what happened with the whole Patrick Weaver thing, and the saying Patrick Weaver is dead. One character who's one of the survivors, his name is Troy. He's kind of like an asshole, and hey, Troy, huh, he's really an asshole and is a real credit hog. Hey Joe, here's a candidate for your next for your A-list, huh? Think about it. Next candidate for your A-list, Troy. Not the Troy we know, all right? Not Troy from Troy's one, all right? If you put him on the list, he will fucking kill you. Trust me on that one. Make your promises, douchebag. Anyway, so Cheryl's just trying to reconnect with everybody, and of course, Troy and his boys, they're actually having a grand old time being a bunch of troublemakers. It's Halloween again, and of course, Patrick Weaver has returned back to town, killing people, and of course, the detective is trying to zoom in on this guy for years, the last few years. And he's sure that maybe he's a boogeyman, or maybe he believes in evil spirits or something. Yeah, it's basically becoming like a whole Halloween debacle or something at this point. Completely ridiculous. I could go complete full in detail, but right now I don't really have that much time at this point. So let me just get to the basics. A bunch of crazy shit winds up happening, and of course, we have a couple of Halloween events actually happening, where of course Trick shows up and actually starts killing people at pure random. Just randomly starts killing people, killing off deputies and stuff, back and forth, killing some random people. Like there's a horror show, there's actually a Halloween haunt going on, and he kills some of the performers and actually replaces some of them and starts going after some of the patrons. What a douchebag. Alright, Tom Atkins' character is actually the one who actually owns the haunt, and he actually gets killed by one of these guys. Bastard. So there's some. So here's the thing. Everybody assumes that Patrick Weaver is going after Troy because of the fact that Troy actually admitted the fact that he's the one who actually stopped Patrick Weaver many years ago from killing everybody at the rest of that party. Here's the thing. It actually wasn't him. All right. Now Cheryl and her friends have been trying to run away from Patrick Weaver all night. They're at the haunt. They see Patrick Weaver. They start running away and shit. It's crazy. So yeah, it's one of those standard slasher movie things. And we get that feeling that okay, we found out that Troy actually defeated Patrick many years ago, but it turns out it wasn't Troy at all. You see, Cheryl doesn't remember this because she was suffering from shock, but Patrick Weaver was stabbed with a fire poker, and that's what caused him to stop the massacre years ago. Now, Troy assumed and took the credit, but here's the thing. Troy's the only one who knew the truth because nobody else was looking at the time, and it was Cheryl who stopped him. Oh yeah, Cheryl was the one who stopped him. But she doesn't remember because she was in full shock mode at the time. Go figure. Fucking shock. So, okay, they are now assuming the fact that, and because of the fact that Troy is still at the haunt, they think that, oh, Patrick's going after Troy. Nope, he's going after Cheryl. Right, so Cheryl goes back to the hospital and actually tries to console with her father a bit more and more, only to see that a video on the monitor is actually playing, and it turns out Patrick actually was the one who actually hurt her father months ago. And to make matters even worse, she's holding her father's hand, and he's cold to the touch. She opens the blanket. He's been gutted already. So Patrick shows up and starts going after her. One of the orderlies is actually dressed up as a prisoner, as a condemned prisoner, and he's in a wheelchair. He's greeting, of course, he's giving people and giving candy out to kids and everything. Who comes into the hospital, staring Halloween stuff. Think nothing of it exactly. Anyway, Patrick goes after Cheryl, and he brings her upstairs to this one abandoned section of the hospital. The detective and the sheriff actually finally make their way up there, and they're both cornered off by Patrick. And so what does he do? He plays the spin the knife thing again. Only it doesn't exactly go his way. He's about to stab Cheryl, only the detective actually attacks him. They basically try to fight him off a bit more, and Patrick and the detective literally spears him. Not even joking, legitimate Goldberg style, spears him right through a fucking window. Shoots him, stabs him, and spears him right through a fucking window, and he goes along with him. He lands right on an SUV, and he says, "I got you, son of a bitch, I fucking got you." But when he's looking at Patrick's face, he notices something, alright? His face is completely covered in the paint, but the face looks very familiar. It doesn't look like Patrick from the one he saw 4 years ago. It looks like one of Troy's boys, and it doesn't make any sense to him. Maybe he's just being delusional. Anyway, the detective falls off the SUV that's broken, and another SUV pops up with a couple of other people with painted faces. Another deputy comes by to actually try to help the detective, and Slater comes along and then shoots the other deputy, and he's got a painted face on too. And then we come to the realist, and the orderly from the wheelchair comes by, and we come to know the shocking truth. The Patrick that we just saw get killed is actually one of Troy's buddies. We found out that and we take a look at the other people. Yeah, it turns out Patrick is actually not the killer. Well, he is the killer, but it's actually multiple people. So we have multiple people, and we actually see a clip of what actually was really happening. I mean, there was actually clips of actually Patrick getting shot in the arm, and we see him running through another section, and it looks like he wasn't shot at all. But it turns out one of those people that was there was the one who got shot earlier. Am I imagining something? Did they just rip off Hot Fuzz? Yeah, they literally took the plot. So they basically took the plot of Scream and Hot Fuzz did. So it turns out Trick, it's not just one person, he's multiple people. Yeah, and it's actually a cult of killers. And Patrick is the head. The whole thing. And, here's another fun fact, too. The bartender from earlier, she's one of the killers, too. This is all kinds of ridiculous. And Slater's been working with them this whole time, too. Which is probably how Patrick got away last time. Oh, and get this. The orderly who's in the wheelchair, that's the original Patrick from the beginning of the movie. And they all stabbed the detective, basically killing him. Basically killing the detective right there on the spot. So, unfortunately, the real Patrick actually did stab him, but of course the detective pulled him off his chair. Cheryl and the other medical personnel come there in time to actually help him. But the thing is, the other Patricks, they actually took the dead body and got the hell out of there. And she actually helps the guy in the wheelchair out, only to discover the fact that she sees a wound in his stomach, and it's the same wound she actually inflicted on the real Patrick 4 years ago. So she puts two and two together. So he wheels away, and she follows him, and the detective is pronounced dead at the scene. Now the sheriff is actually getting stitched up by the doctor, and of course Slater's there with her to give her the news. While this whole thing's going on, the real Patrick goes into the security office and deletes the footage immediately. Reviews the footage of them actually stabbing and killing the detective and deletes it all, only to have Cheryl tap the window with a bloody handprint. He opens the door, she confronts him, and he admits he's the original Patrick. And they get into a bit of an altercation, only to have Cheryl fucking kill him this time. Legitimately kill him for real this time. To kill him for real. Alright? And his very last words are, "You're one of us." Fuck you, you psychotic son of a bitch. So anyway, she wheels the dead body over to the sheriff and the doctor and Slater. Well, only discovering Patrick is not one person; he's multiple people. Oh, here's a bit of a fun fact: the Patrick she just killed, yeah, his first name is Patrick, but he used a different name. So the reason why they couldn't find anything on Patrick Weaver at all, because it was an alias name the entire time, and because multiple people actually play the character. That's why they couldn't find anything on him at all whatsoever. He's played by multiple people. He's a character. He's not even a real killer. Well, actually, he is a real killer, but still, he's not a real person particularly. Go figure. Anyway, Cheryl actually stabs Slater this time around. He's a little bit confused why he did that, though, until the sheriff is confused why she did that. That is until she sees the makeup on the side of his collar. So, okay, he gets stabbed. So he gets killed by Cheryl and the detective this time around. So here's the thing: Cheryl actually got a chance to see the video, so she knows there's actually multiple people, and she knows Slater was involved. So, and yeah, Slater was pronounced dead on the scene. So we have multiple killers. The movie basically comes to it. So our killers actually want to get a chance to leave so they can recruit more people to the cult. But here's the thing: they're waiting for their leader to show up. Their leader, who actually has the original mask, comes in, and this is a bit of a shocker, folks. Who is the leader? Who is the leader that orchestrated all this? It's the Doctor. Yep. Shocker twist. Jamie Kennedy's character, the Doctor, is actually one of the figureheads of the organization. Huh. Wow. I guess Randy... this is kind of like you're saying if Randy from Scream was actually one of the original killers. And yes, I know Randy is played by Jamie Kennedy, but still, that would be kind of like a unique twist. It turns out, out of nowhere, they actually killed. They get rid of the killers, and it turns out Randy was actually one of the killers the whole time. That'd be a perfect twist. Kind of sad to know what Scriber never actually thought about that. Oh well. And anyway, Cheryl and the sheriff. Well, the sheriff has actually quit her job. Now they're actually on a hunt. They actually pack up and get a chance to leave town because now they're on the hunt for the rest of the killers. And here's another twist: the detective is still alive, and he's going with them. The end. Oh, yeah. And that was tricked. So, here's a question: is this a good slasher film? Well, actually, it's actually kind of entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it's one of those type of horror films that basically goes a little bit all out, but the twist endings at the end, not bad. Even though I just kind of spoiled it, but fuck it, I don't care. You guys are gonna watch it anyway. Give it a watch. Yeah. If you don't want to get the DVD or Blu-ray, don't worry, it's on Tubi. Right now, it's actually on Tubi. So give it a watch. If not, you'll probably find it on another streaming platform for free. Oh. Yeah. Sure got this done over a week ago. Oh well. Wait. Next Friday's Halloween. You know what that means? Time for another Halloween movie. And... oh, fuck. It's Halloween Resurrection. Well, at least it's not the Rob Zombie Halloween films, which I already reviewed. So, fuck it. Well, tune in next time and we'll talk about Halloween Resurrection. Till then, y'all take care. Nightfall,